Welcome in to the USL Pro Weekend Review. My name's Nicholas Murray, very pleased to be joined by David Wagner as we take a look back at the past weekend of action across the league. Starting off out west, where Sacramento Republic FC and the LA Galaxy 2 both took road victories and both clinched a place in the playoffs. Now Sacramento and LA, both very impressive inaugural seasons, now they're locked in potentially with a home game in the playoffs if they keep their current run of form going. Which side though do you think may have the biggest impact when we get to the postseason?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Obviously all season I think when LA has played well, they've been very dynamic. They've scored in bunches. They have a bunch of talented youngsters on the team. And combined with the fact that they've had some solid players being loaned down from the first team, with Sacramento, you have a lot of veterans. They're a new team, but there's a lot of guys that have been around in this league or played at a very high professional level. So they both could have a lot of success going forward. I think I would give the edge maybe to Sacramento right now just because they have a little bit more veteran presence on their team. Some guys that have been in the playoffs here and done it before.
Well, speaking of veteran presences, a side that has a decent amount of that is the Charleston Battery. And they moved into 6th place in the standings with a victory on Friday night against the Rochester Rhinos. This has been a really good run of form that the Battery have been on, particularly since the reacquisition of Jose Cuevas to the lineup. What stood out to you, and could the Battery maybe make an impact as they did 2 years ago in the postseason?
Yeah, I think so. I think you talked about Jose Cuevas, and he is the man to point to. I think when you see the teams that operate successfully in this league, not only do they have a lot of players around that center player like Jose Cuevas, but that center player's really got to step up and perform on a high level. So it's a guy like Kevin Molino for Orlando or a guy like Alan Russell for Orange County when they're playing well. So everybody's sort of got that central figure. Jose's come in and brought something that they didn't have this season. If he continues to play like he has, I think they have a very good chance of holding on to that playoff spot and maybe surprising somebody.
Well, moving on a little bit lower down the standings, Arizona United took a second victory on the weekend as they defeated the Pittsburgh Riverhounds 3-1 on Saturday night. Now this really jumped up the Arizona United into 9th place into the standings, and they have a huge game this Friday now against the team that sits 2 points ahead of them in OKC and GFC. It definitely feels like some of the recent acquisitions, Sam Garza, Long Tan, have really made a positive impact. 8 goals in the last 4 games now for this side. What stood out to you as they've taken back-to-back victories?
Yeah, I remember speaking to their general manager a few weeks ago, and he said, I got to go up, I got to get a goal scorer, I got to get a couple guys, and that's what they've done. Garza's out at a nice spark, and then you bring in a guy like Long Tan, who obviously scored some goals last season, comes in and he just finds himself in the right place at the right time. He just has that great positioning to finish some big chances for them. So if those players can keep contributing and then stepping up with some of the guys that have done it all season, like a Matt Castle or someone else who's had a great influence on that team, they have a very good chance of being in that, just sneaking in and being in the playoff picture as well.
Well, certainly will be a lot to look for this weekend in a big slate of action. Also got some really interesting midweek games, as we're especially out west, as the Wilmington Hammerheads look to bounce back against Sacramento, what should be a very good game on Wednesday night at Bonnie Field. We hope you'll join us for that on YouTube on Wednesday, and we hope you'll join us again on Friday as we take a look ahead to all of this weekend's action. Until then, for David, my name's Nicholas. Thanks for joining us.